So the question has arisen concerning the Wheel of Life paintings as to who actually is the wrathful, angry figure that is holding the disc of life and death. Who is this figure? Now, if you look in a lot of Western language books, then some will say that it's Yama, sometimes Mara. You get different answers. But if we go back to the Chinese translation of the original Sanskrit text, which may be a little bit different from the Tibetan, actually the figure holding the Wheel of Life is called the Demon of Impermanence. It represents impermanence. And the disc itself represents both life and death. So it's not actually the Wheel of Life. It's the Wheel of Life and Death. The wheel of becoming, the Bhavana Chakra or Bhava Chakra. And so it's representing both. The figure behind, in some Tibetan representations, will have the disc pressed up to the top of the mouth, the top teeth, and at the very bottom of the disc, down by the legs of this demon, will be the bottom of the mouth. And what this shows is that this disc is in the mouth of impermanence, and it can be gone at any moment in time. That's Tibetan, but also it's not textual from the original Sanskrit. So that's an interpretation that comes in later, and then an artistic convention, which some traditions still use. Now, as for Yama, why is the figure not Yama? Well, Yama represents more death, even though he represents a death, and Yama is a figure that is represented in the hell realms in the bottom middle section of the Wheel of Life. Yama is there as the judge of good and bad actions. But according to the Abhidharmakosha, this Yama figure in the hell realms actually doesn't live there and doesn't really belong there. He is the judge of beings that go to hell, but he is actually a king of the pretas. He's a king of the ghost realm, because nobody can be in hell unless your karma dictates it. You can't experience anything of hell unless it's your karma to do so. It's not a place that can just be visited for a weekend or a period of time. It actually is a state that is created by karma. This, of course, creates some problems for other Buddhist narratives where we have stories of the Buddhist student Maudgalyayana who visits hell and visits all the realms of existence in search of his mother who was reborn in hell at one time. So the figure at the bottom of the Wheel of Life in the hell realms, yes, is Yama, but he's actually a ghost. Yet still the judge of beings on their way to hell. So it's unlikely that you'd have the outside figure as Yama, and then you'd have another figure of Yama in the hell realms. That doesn't quite work. Now, some people have put forward that it's possible that the figure holding the disc is actually Mara. Now, Mara is a bit of a problem because it's an abstract term, and we have the four Maras, plus we have a god of the Kamaloka named Mara, and this Mara is the one who tried to obstruct Shakyamuni Buddha from reaching enlightenment. So that Mara would be depicted in the heavens, so he would be in the top section of the Wheel of Life in the gods realm. Yes, a lower level god, not one of the higher gods, but a god nonetheless. So back to the figure. Now the figure we have in art can have two main forms with Himalayan style. He can be unadorned. He can be an unadorned demon holding the Wheel of Life, or he can be an adorned demon. Now this is not scriptural either. This does not come out of the Sanskrit or the Chinese. And as I've mentioned, I've not yet read the Tibetan text. So, and I'm only using the Chinese in translation, Stephen Teiser's fantastic translation of the text. So the unadorned means that the demon of impermanence is not wearing a crown of 5 skulls. He's not wearing bracelets. He's not wearing all kinds of wrathful vestments, tiger skin or bone ornaments. He is simply a demon with disheveled hair, ugly and wrathful looking, with no adornments. And Yishin Norbu, actually in recent years, in recent decades, has also said that a lot of the Tibetan depictions of the Wheel of Life are not correct because of the overly adorned demon of impermanence. It's an ugly, awful demon. So it shouldn't be dolled up and made to look pretty with all these wrathful ornaments. So these are the 2 types, the unadorned and then the adorned, as if it's a wrathful deity. And then some teachers in the last 100 or so years have also applied all kinds of meanings, mnemonic meanings, metaphorical meanings to the ornaments that the demon of impermanence wears. And this is really quite new, and I don't know if there's any textual basis for it. So just a little bit of a discussion on who is holding the Wheel of Life. You can press the like button, you can subscribe, you can also support the work we do by going to Horror on Patreon and becoming a member.